For a player that was such a great junior, it's been so fun to get to the top, but also you don't take 5 losses in a row.
Young, talented Coco Gauff is a force to be reckoned with on the tennis court. The famous American professional tennis player is up there with the likes of Iga Swiatek, Emma Randucanu, and of course the world's richest tennis player, Jessica Pegula, with whom she has won several tennis doubles titles. Born in Atlanta, Georgia, the 19-year-old tennis superstar is the proud winner of 3 WTA singles titles and 7 Grand Slam doubles titles. From making her professional debut on the ITF Women circuit at the young age of 14, she appeared on the front cover of Teen Vogue special issue in 2019 after defeating former tennis world number 1 Venus Williams in the opening round of the 2019 Wimbledon Championships. The name Coco Gauff appears to be synonymous with success. With the star's name playing on the lips of many and recent media speculations, many have begun to ask the question, what really happened to Coco Gauff?
It's just pretty surreal how life changes in a matter of seconds.
Developing a keen interest in tennis at the tender age of 4 after watching her role model Serena Williams win the 2009 Australian Open, Coco Gauff began playing tennis at age 6, and when she clocked 8, she decided to pursue it as a career due to the individuality of the sport and her early success in the Little Mo tennis competition. Coco was born in March 2004 to former collegiate athletes Corey and Candy Gauff, who both successful care executive and educator respectively, gave up their careers in order to focus on their daughter's tennis training. At the age of 10, she joined the Mouratoglou's tennis academy, which was run by her coach Patrick Mouratoglou in France. She then went on to become the youngest tennis player ever to win the USTA Clay Court 12 and under nationals at the age of 10 years and 3 months, and in 2017, Coco became the youngest female singles player to reach the finals at the US Open when she made her junior debut before finishing next to Amanda Anisimova. Her professional career has not fared any differently, as she began with increased tempo in 2018, winning her first professional match in May at Osprey, and in 2019, after a remarkable Wimbledon performance, she rose to world number 141 on the WTA's list of high-performing female tennis players. Becoming the youngest tennis player to ever hold a singles title on the WTA Tour since 2004, after winning her first singles title at the 2019 Linz Open, Coco has had a thriving career so far and is currently ranked as world number 6 in singles, right after tennis player Caroline Garcia. Every professional athlete feels some form of pressure at some point in their career, some maybe more than others. In the year building up to her debut in 2019, tennis superstar Coco Gauff suffered what some might call an overwhelming pressure to succeed, causing her to feel depressed and unable to enjoy playing the game she obviously had so much love for. Coco, in a post for Behind the Racket, an inspiring series created by retired professional tennis player Noah Rubin for tennis athletes to share their stories in view of the sport, revealed that the year prior to her debut was the toughest year for her so far, and that she had considered taking a break from the game for a short while. The famous tennis player said she struggled with the growing hype surrounding her being one of the youngest players on the tour and the need to perform well in order to meet up with the expectations of the media and her growing community of fans around the world. In her own words, "Throughout my life, I was always the youngest to do things, which added hype that I didn't want. It added this pressure that I needed to do well, fast. I always had the results, so that wasn't the issue. I just found myself not enjoying what I loved. I realized I needed to start playing for myself and not for other people." Although her parents, Candy and Corey Gauff, in a telephone interview stated that depressed was not the right word to describe their daughter's issues, her father referred to it as a personal pressure most teenage prodigies put on themselves and described it as a way for kids to mature. She was never clinically depressed, never diagnosed with depression, never seen anybody about depression. Coco Gauff, however, said that she was just lost and that she came out of that period stronger, knowing herself better than ever. "Everyone asks me how I stay calm on the court, and I think it's because I accepted who I am after overcoming low points in my life." Speaking about the pressure placed on young professional tennis players in her post-match interview, following her win against fellow tennis star Emma Randucanu at the Australian Open, Coco reminded fans that they were still just normal teenagers living their lives even if they didn't play tennis.
I feel like I've been on the opposite spectrum where I forget my age and I almost put too much pressure on myself and wanting things now.
Like every other tennis player susceptible to injuries on the court, tennis superstar Coco Gauff was forced to pull out of the 2022 Cincinnati Open in tears after a nasty fall led her to sustaining an injury to her ankle while playing the first round match of the tournament. Coco had been leading the game 5-3 in the first set of the match against Mary Boskova before sustaining the injury that led to her losing to her opponent in the second set of the first round. While the incident left her fans scared and skeptical about her ability to make it to the US Open, which was to take place just 2 weeks after, Coco released a statement the following morning regarding the extent of her injury. The world is not ending, lol. I have been told it is most likely a really minor sprain, so everything should be healed very soon. Thank you to everyone who reached out, and I'll see you soon," the star promised her fans. She went on to participate at the US Open that year before losing to French tennis player Caroline Garcia at the quarterfinals in a 6-3, 6-4 set. Perhaps her injury did affect her performance as initially speculated. The 2022 season was a mixture of celebration and sadness for the American professional tennis player. She began the season playing in the Adelaide International before losing to Ashley Barty, the world #1 at the time, in the second round of the tournament. Following her stunning Grand Slam performance at the French Open that same year, Coco Gauff became the youngest professional single player to reach the WTA finals since Maria Sharapova in 2004, before losing to world #1 singles player Iga Swiatek. On the doubles side, Coco Gauff had a great run, winning titles alongside her partner Jessica Pegula. The duo made a name for themselves throughout the season, with Coco attaining world #1 in doubles that same year. As is almost always the case, all good things do come to an end, and the talented Coco, after losing her only singles match to Katerina Siniakova at the Billie Jean King Cup finals, ended the season with 5 straight losses, the longest losing streak of her professional career. Some people, like Tennis Hall of Famer Steve Flink, attributed Coco's poor season finish to fatigue, as the American tennis player had played a total of 104 matches that season, comprising both singles and doubles. This was a rather draining amount of matches for any player. If you play that much singles and doubles, can you really keep up that pace? Are you not going to make yourself vulnerable to injuries in the years ahead? That's something that players that are good in singles and doubles, as Jessica Pegula and Coco Gauff are, have to think about, and the priority has to be singles, Steve said on an episode of Courtside with Billingson Tennis. All in all, the talented professional tennis player has had a good run, making it to world #4 in singles despite injuries and losses sustained. Following her 2022 season that elicited lots of mixed feelings, young tennis superstar Coco Gauff started her 2023 season on a strong note, once again proving that she was not one to stay down, if at all. She began the season playing at the Auckland Open, New Zealand, defeating Spanish professional tennis player Rebecca Masarova in a 6-1, 6-1 set at the ASB Classic Finals and claiming her 3rd singles titles on the WTA Tour. This was to be her first title on an outdoor hard courts, and Coco Gauff won without dropping a single set throughout the week. The match, although marked by long raining spells, left the talented tennis player in high spirits, giving her a much-needed confidence boost ahead of the coming Australian Open. "It's been a great week for me, despite the rain. I couldn't ask for a better start to my season," she said in a post-match interview. However, despite her great start to the season, tennis champion Coco Gauff suffered a rather painful loss at the Margaret Court Arena during the Australian Open 2023. The young athlete expressed her frustration and cried after losing in straight 7-5, 6-3 sets to Latvian Jelena Ostapenko in the 4th round match of the tournament. "I think it's because I worked really hard and I felt really good coming into the tournament, and I still feel good when you play a player like her and she plays really well. It's like there's nothing you can do. So it is a little bit frustrating on that part," Coco Gauff said in tears. American pro tennis player Coco Gauff's profound talent on the court makes her one of the most talked about athletes on the tennis landscape. Her skill and grace on the tennis court have improved over the past year since her debut, and the tennis star is expected to wow her fans with even more shocking wins as the 2023 season continues to unfold.